Hi, I'm Tom Hoffman with One-to-One Media, and I'm here at InContact's annual user conference, ICUC 2013, here in Henderson, Nevada. And I'm joined today by Sarah Mcelwee, who is Vice President of Client Operations for KBM Group. And today, Sarah and I will be talking about different ways that the business process outsourcing environment has evolved and changed. And Sarah, thanks so much for joining us today. I appreciate it.
You bet, Tom.
And
Glad to be here.
you're so elegantly dressed too.
Well,
I feel like a slow.
We've got that big bash tonight, so we have to look the part.
This is true. This is true.
Yeah.
So, Sarah, for our listeners, can you share with us a little bit about KBM Group?
You bet. KBM Group is a part of a larger organization called the Wonderman Company, and we are a subsidiary of WPP. We're a database marketing group that provides custom database solutions as well as CRM solutions for our clients across not only the US but globally.
So, Sarah, you and I were talking a little bit before about how business process outsourcing has really changed a lot in recent years, where in the past people equated BPO with contact center outsourcing, or perhaps even accounting, outsourcing your accounting functions. Can you talk a little bit about some of the changes and how this has expanded into more niche areas as well?
You bet, Tom. I will tell you that in today's technical growth market, one of the greatest changes for us in the BPO market is the fact that how consumers reach out to their clients, to their businesses, has changed remarkably with social media, with email, with chat. And as a result of that, clients have determined that it's not just about the phone call, and it's not just about handling that consumer in that initial interaction, but how do they embrace the consumer in ways that the consumer wants to know and understand. And as a result, it's put a lot of pressure on the BPO centers in how do you meet that client need to serve customers across all of that media.
So is that, I would imagine that's also influencing the performance measurements that clients use, especially when it relates to customer experience. So how has that changed? What are some examples of some of the things that you're seeing with clients that they're looking for in terms of performance measurements?
Well, it used to be, back in the good old days, it was, did you pick up the phone in a timely manner and were you polite?
Right.
And anymore today, you may deal with clients and never have a voice conversation with them, but instead may have an electronic connection of some sort. And so clients today want to understand how many times did you talk to their client? What were those interactions looking like? And what did you say? What did they say? What was the voice of the client? And yet it's not a verbal voice, it's a written voice, or it's a tweet, or it's just a comment in social media. And so some key metrics are what is being said,
Right.
and then what are you gleaning from that conversation, and then what are you doing about it?
So again, with respect to customer experience, can you talk to some of the quantitative types of measurements that a client might use in trying to measure the customer experience that they might have with a company like KBM Group?
Well, there are several quantitative measures that are evolving today and are really putting all of us sort of on the edge of trying to figure out what the consumer engagement score is, meaning how often are they engaging with your brand through social media. It means leveraging some of the metrics around tweets and what are your scores and how many followers do you have. Some of the other quantitative measures go back to some of the basics like customer satisfaction. What does your customer say from how easy it is to get in touch with you, how easy is it to resolve questions, and what is that satisfaction? There are still some traditional scores like Net Promoter, or just that, on a scale of 1 to 10, how satisfied were you with the experience that you had?
Right.
But more importantly, it's how many conversations did you engage in and how quickly did you engage, and possibly one of the more difficult measures, when did you engage appropriately? Not every tweet needs a response.
That's true. So I don't know if you've had these experiences with clients that you've worked with, but what we're seeing is that among more mature companies that have gone down this path in terms of measuring customer experience, they look not only at, say, customer sat and customer loyalty, but they make correlations between the impact of those measurements on things like revenue, profits per customer, as well as customer lifetime value. So I'm wondering whether you're working with any clients that are taking it that step beyond, if you will.
Absolutely, and really at the end of the day, one of the things that's so true, and you have shared that in many of the articles that I've also noticed in one-to-one media, but lifetime value is a measure that is critical. It is much more profitable for all of us to retain a customer for life than it is to acquire new customers over and over and over again. And so when you get that sort of engagement and you're looking at a customer's interaction, one of the statistics that is starting to pop is that the easier it is for me to do business with you, whether it's through a mobile connection or through a tablet connection or whatever I choose as the consumer, the easier it is for me to do business with you, the more satisfied I am. And if I am satisfied, then I will shop more, I will stay more, I will become a more lifetime value. And that satisfaction isn't necessarily because I talked to someone and they were polite. It's because it was easy to do business with you. It was easy to check out. It was easy to pick a seat on an airline or whatever. And so many of our clients are trying to quantify and put a dollar value to that loyalty, which comes as a result of customers saying, yeah, you were easy to work with and I'd love to do it again.
Right. So related to that, I don't know if this has come up at all, but you know, if you're in a relationship with a client, say you've been doing business together for a few years, and you're under contract, and the contract is extended for, say, let's say another year. Yeah. If the client is interested in applying some additional types of metrics that are customer experience related, can those be worked in? I mean, is there flexibility to do that and not have to wait for, you know, the contract to be renewed or, you know, the negotiation process to start again?
Well, I think it's sort of an obligation for us as BPOs to make sure that our clients understand how the world is changing and how it's evolving so quickly. And so we've had experiences, especially in the area of mobile, where because mobile use, everybody has a cell phone, everybody has that smartphone. And so presenting to clients the number of people that are using mobile, how they're engaging, being able to show them through your technology how people disengage because whatever services you're providing are not conducive to mobile. When you start to present those sorts of facts and figures to your client, they don't want to wait until the annual cycle comes into play, right? They're like, okay, you're right, you sold me, let's do that. And so what's important is making sure that your own systems are at a level where you can engage, even if it's in pilot mode, but to start that conversation to get the client into a more robust mobile environment, a more robust customer engagement environment, which then allows them to build their strategies, you know, going forward for years to come.
So while you were mentioning that, I was wondering, you know, we talked about measuring customer engagement, and you mentioned disengagement. What are some ways that you can go about measuring that or trying to evaluate that?
Well, some of the ways that we do it with KBM Group is one of the ways we all typically get some communications in today's world is through email. It's through SMS text messaging. And one of the fastest ways for a consumer to disengage is to type stop on their SMS text messages, which tells you very clearly, I don't want to hear from you anymore. Yeah. The other way is through your email. And are they opening your email? Are they clicking? Are they paying attention, right? And all of those metrics are available for all of us to use and to monitor so that we can tell, is a customer paying attention?
Right, right. Well, Sarah, thank you so much for your time today. I appreciate it.
You bet, Tom. It's been my pleasure.
Thanks.
Thank you.